Spirit, if we see carriers here, it gets really weird. It's just not a very good map for carriers at all. So
no, I don't think we would have. Well, we could, but we probably won't. So Fighting Spirit right now is kind of the bread and butter map. If you want to learn StarCraft 1, if you want to play with your friends, probably do it on this map.
More it's the macro map.
Yeah, it's the macro game map. And we're ready, dude. We're going to go right into Game 3. Woo! Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is a map where Terran usually can get a third base very easily. Getting a fourth base is a little bit trickier, but Terran can basically play the macro game on just 3 bases. I mean, you'll see games where Protoss has almost all of the map, and Flash will still come out and kind of win with just the 3 bases.
There's, like, it's a pretty standard map overall, but there are a couple points of tension, right?
Right.
In these particular spots, I think it's a little bit better than other spots for Terran versus Protoss.
Yeah.
Because your third base is a little bit further away from Protoss. If you have a closer third base to Protoss, it actually becomes pretty easy for them to deny that for a while. They really slow it down. But that can be one small point of tension here, but really it's the fourth base that becomes the really tough one to take on Fighting Spirit for Terran versus Protoss. But you have a very strong timing push generally before that.
That's right. So let's see what exactly happens. A lot of times in a late game PvT, what you will see is arbiters over carriers on this map. If you have anything that's wide open, and like wide open in the center, but a Terran can still turtle on 3 bases, arbiters are kind of the way to go. So Terran has to be ready with vessels or scan to try to stop that big Terran army. But of course, arbiters can also recall into the Terran's main base, so there's that as well.
Yeah, and a lot of times later on, that's what you can actually get a Terran with on this map, because there's some very solid like macro ways to play on Fighting Spirit, and that actually is very good for a player like Glass. But according to the rules, I believe that this was Mini's choice, which I'm not completely surprised from. I don't think that in any regards that this is a Terran owns Protoss map. I think it's a pretty decent map with definitely strengths in either direction.
Okay, so we're back in this. I don't know what the delay was, but no. I guess someone had to get something on their setup right, and we're good to go. Now, a lot of Terrans are liking some quick pushes on this map, because just like Terran can take 3 bases easily, so can Protoss.
Yeah.
Protoss can take a lot more than that. So we'll see if Last does anything crazy. Again, though, guys, Last is on the ropes. Last needs to play the most stable, strong PvT of his life if he's going to, or TVP rather, of his life, or he's going to be dead in the series.
Yeah, and it's a little bit doable as well. Like some of the maps for the style that Mini wanted to play, it seems, which is the 2-base carrier style, have already been used. And when you look, we're getting into some more normal maps from here. Like if he wins here, right, he can choose something like a Circuit Breakers if he wants. He's a great macro player. I don't know if he would want to choose that, but I think that Roadkill could be a very interesting map as well. You know, that you can kind of attack into their natural third base kind of easily, I think, but I haven't actually seen any pro games there yet. But yeah, I don't know. The first thing he has to do, though, is win here on Fighting Spirit. And it's a pretty even map, to be honest, which is why everyone plays it all the time.
Yeah. So, you know, there's so many different ways that this game can be played. I know when this map first came out, there was a lot of proxy stuff in the middle of the map. We don't really see that as much anymore. This map is like the most figured out map for modern competitive StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
And again, if you guys want to learn, this is actually a good map to start on, because there's not a lot of weirdness that you have to deal with that you would see on other maps. So let's talk about this placement here with these buildings in the factory, Artosis. Do you want to expand on why that's there? Because some of these placements can look kind of random, or arbitrary, and they're not.
Absolutely not. That's like perfect placement basically from Last, and you can do it however you want. But again, I talked about it before, that depot next to the right side of the barracks, SCVs, probes, zealots do not fit through there, but a Marine does. So if a zealot comes up to attack you, you attack it. It goes after the Marine, you run through there, you attack it again.
Yeah.
Looks like we need another little pause. We'll see what's going on with that. But it's very nice, right? And then you put the factory right next to that, and there's no hole there whatsoever. So if the Zealot wants to attack the Marine that's behind the depot at this point and behind the racks, he has to run all the way around the factory and come around the other side, and then the Marine can just run through again. So it's just about making the Zealot run around because it's a melee unit and utilizing the range of the Marine to just deal unlimited damage to it.
Yeah, and so because of that, you don't really want to get that Zealot out early. A lot of times, and you have to understand that the game is so old, we've gone through so many metas of how you want to approach it. Initially, the Zealot was so strong, it's like, why would you not get one of those against a Terran, right? I mean, it kills a Marine so quickly, and even if you micro perfectly, the Zealot's basically still going to win the fight if the Marine attacks at all. So knowing placement like that is really, really important.
Yeah, in fact, before we started figuring out like really high-end micro with Marines and utilizing like little building structures like that, you had to wall in completely against Protoss. You'd have to like literally make a line of buildings over your ramp and not let anything up there. So,
all right, we're back.
All right.
Now wait, Terran didn't get inside the main, right?
It looks like no, it was sent back.
This
I
is
saw a probe
actually
on the ramp there as we got into the game. Okay, so that's got one probe hit on it. So probably what happened is it went up, the probe attacked it, and it ran away because you know when the first goon is coming out as a Terran player.
So this is kind of cool for Protoss. If you don't get scouted right away, and this can happen on a 4-player map, you have no idea what Protoss is doing.
Yeah.
In fact, he doesn't even have confirmation that there's a Nexus coming.
No, he doesn't yet. He might shoot in again with this SCV just a little bit later. There's, at this point, like everyone is kind of aware of the various timings of things, right? Which is, for instance, why this SCV didn't stay there. He knew that a Dragoon was about to come out, and the Dragoon can just chase down an SCV. You have to either bring it all the way home or lose it. And you see the Dragoon kind of like patrolling for. He's looking to see if the SCV wants to come back in. And is that a Vulture first?
Yes, it is. And so sometimes when the Dragoons come out, what you can do is run around them with a Vulture.
In fact, it's chasing down this SCV right now, so that is what we're going to see. Running around a little bit.
So a lot of times Protosses can totally contain the Terran, but the Vulture plays around that. Oh, wow. Okay, good catch here with the probe.
Yeah, excellent catch. All right, the Dragoon going to kind of poke up there, but it's only one Dragoon with a very fast Nexus, so the two Marines will hold that at bay, and a Siege Tank will be out pretty soon. Now, that is an extremely fast mine upgrade. A little bit lucky there for him to catch this.
Oh, mismicroed there.
Yeah, he actually could have killed that mine if he had microed perfectly, but easier said than done.
So, yeah, you can shoot those mines down right before they burrow, and it does have just enough time that the 2 Dragoon shots will kill it. But you got to be careful, and Dragoons are fairly buggy units. Sometimes people will ask us, well, why don't they just make them less buggy? Well, then they would be too strong. So everything in this game is sort of worked out perfectly.
Yes.
And it's unwise to try to mess with it, really.
Yeah, if everything in this game microed easily, man, I don't think I'd play it.
No, I would not either.
It wouldn't be the same game by any means. Okay, so just the Robo and the Observatory coming up right now for Mini. We don't really know exactly what he wants to do quite yet. Whereas Last over here, likely getting Siege mode, but it could be Vulture speed. He's got some good reconnaissance on the map with these Vultures. His command center is reasonably quick. Of course, that Nexus is quite quick as well, and this is pretty standard for Fighting Spirit. You don't really want to get too aggressive early on, generally speaking, because it's not that hard to hold things with these nice chokes and these ramps and everything.
Now, the Observer is very important to get, not just because you need mines and you want to see on the map, but right now, Protoss also has no idea what the Terran's doing. Is the Terran making a bunch of factories and getting ready for an attack? Is he instead getting a command center or an armory and preparing for late game? Both of the approaches require radically different responses. Is there a mine over here? Yes, there is.
Yeah, there is. And in fact, the Vulture will come back the second it passes over the first mine.
Yeah.
Because just killing this probe buys you so much time. Look at how much this actually delays. Not only the mine delays the Nexus, but now he has to send another probe after clearing those mines. So this is just like a crucial play that we see from Last.
Now, it might seem like it's a slow game early on, but I promise you Protoss is scrambling to try to get another probe over there, and they have to. So he's going to try to shoot down some of these mines, and then this Observer should go inside the Terran's base. What?
Yeah, this is a little bit much, but
Yeah, that was a little crazy.
yeah, the thing is, he was trying to punish a greedy Last. Last opened with a vulture. He made a lot of vultures. Mini was kind of aware of this, and he actually pushed in at a point where there was one tank, and he could shoot down some mines. Occasionally, the Terran's gonna, have a mine not hit, and you're gonna get a couple volleys, and suddenly the Protoss player gets ahead from that move, but instead just loses a couple extra goons.
So it's going to be a Reaver play.
Oh.
Now, mid-game Reaver is actually not bad at all.
No, not at
it's
all.
It's funny because it used to be you just go one base, like way long ago. You go one base Reaver and try to get out, and Terran's got good at stopping it. So a lot of Protoss players said, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. But now getting a Reaver at this part of the game is actually pretty good. You can always snipe off a few tanks here and there. The Reaver can be very helpful in a big fight. Do we not have the Nexus still? Oh.
Yeah, still no Nexus quite yet. You can get it a little bit delayed in this situation. The thing is, there's already a decent amount of missile turrets around, but also you got to look at what Last has done. He got the quicker second factory and the slower armory. So, not that it's a super slow armory or anything, but like his 2-1 timing push that you see a lot of times in this map will come a bit later. So it's kind of okay that things have been a little bit slower for Mini in a way.
I'm curious if shuttle speed's going to be upgraded here. I don't think it will be, but
yeah, I don't
it's been
think so.
growing in popularity here in Korea, just because you could zip around and do so much damage. So he's going to come in here. I think there's a turret already over here. So the way that turret's placed, you kind of got to be careful about your shuttle flight over there. So he's gone into the main here, and while that's happening, Mini's trying to slow down that third. But what's happening up here?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Big hits, big connects.
Yeah, that was an excellent first hit. The second hit's okay. Hey, I mean, he's actually getting some damage done.
Yep.
This looks like a one-way journey for this Reaver, but oh my god, he gets a siege tank too. This has been a great Reaver.
Yeah, and now he's going to try to attack in here at the front with these Dragoons. This is a lot harder to do than it looks. If Protoss makes any mistakes at all, oh my god, he's leaving. I think that Reaver's still alive, Artosis.
Oh, and look at this counterattack. The Reaver pulled a bunch of units into the main base. The Goon attack on the third base pulled a bunch of tanks to the third base, which means the natural is almost empty. Comes in, kills 2 siege tanks. Oh my god, tons of damage from this Reaver.
Big connects there. Last has spread himself just a little bit too thin. I still want to see if that Reaver's up there. He's already getting his second one back in his main. There's probably another shuttle on the way here as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's still in there. I think it is, though.
I think of the confusion. Last thought that he had killed the Reaver and walked back out.
That would be quite a mistake. He has an armory, so he has the option to make a Goliath. They kind of build a little bit slow and stuff, but I think it would totally be worth it to just push that shuttle out at this point.
Oh, yeah. Well, the tanks have been pulled back down. I don't believe there's that much over there. In the other base, and he did get shuttle speed. Okay, so shuttle speed's coming up here. And this location, I mean, there's just not enough defense here.
Not enough defense. There's nothing. 3 vultures run up. He's unsieged his tanks. He's bringing them up as well, but a speed shuttle. We'll see what he has in here. The SCVs got pulled out to buffer, but a new Reaver can absolutely kill them.
Okay, the Reaver's going to try to fire at some of these tanks. It picks back up.
Oh, a good hit from that Reaver, and in fact, he's not even targeting the Reaver at all here. He can't. Oh my gosh, Mini just tearing Last apart right now.
I don't know if Last could stay in this game. His tank out's going to get so low. Another Reaver shot comes out and connects on that tank. Goodbye.
Oh, the amount of damage here has truly stacked up. He's almost doubling the supply of Last. You can't be losing this many siege tanks, this many SCVs, this many everything early on as a Terran player. And Mini is just growing.
Yeah, this is really scary. This is a very technical takedown, by the way. Much harder than it looks. And now the Reaver's going to try to go for this turret. He wants to make an opening here. The Dragoon is just to draw away any extra fire. And here's the pick up. Okay, there it is.
Man, this is just getting so brutal. If you don't have your third base up in mining, look at where we're at as far as game time goes. 11:30 in a standard game. Last would be at this point up at 150 to 170 supply.
Yeah,
he's sitting here at 70 supply. This is just an awful spot for him. Look, he's even been forced to make a Wraith. Mini can take extra bases. There's no way for Last to do anything.
That's right. Last is limping through this game. +1 attack is upgraded, but now we have another shuttle with Reavers. Now, it's really hard to control a lot of shuttles and Reavers. There's a reason why you don't see it all the time. But a Reaver in a fight, you can drop that while the tanks are firing. You can shoot down a Scarab and pick it back up. And a lot of times there's not that much the Terran can do. So that's why we have a Wraith over here. But of course, a Wraith will die so quickly to Dragoon shots.
Yeah, 6 shots and it's just gone. That's it. So, the Wraith, it's a desperation measure at this point in the game. He's trying to produce out of anything that he has. So. Are we actually on camera
right now?
I hope not.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Shogyo! I think we're on camera. Thank you. All right, we got it fixed now.
Wow, were people actually watching us that whole time? Sorry, people. First day here at the KSL.
That was going on for. Anyways, we are back into this game. I hope that wasn't up the whole time. I hope that was just a small mistake there. But.
Well, a lot of exciting things happen, and you guys are never going to get to see it now.
So. We have that expansion being taken. Again, Terran's kind of locked in here. And this is going to be tricky from here on out. How does Terran push out? Well, I mean, with Protoss having this much, we see the Arbiter tech is coming. And I don't know. I mean, Terrans have done it before, ladies and gentlemen. But it's really tough to do. Yeah. I mean, a player like Mini does not miss a beat.
Like, the thing is, you could put almost any Protoss worth his salt into this position, and they're going to kill Last. Last has so little. Mini's allowed to do everything at once. And, like, he will beat him in tech. He will beat him in army.
Yeah.
He beats him in expansions and economy. There is no way in which Mini does not have a gigantic lead. Now, the dropship makes a lot of sense. You have to, like... rub 2 nickels together to make a quarter here as Last.
You gotta rub 2 nickels together to make a $100 bill at this point in time.
You got to rub 2 sea chains together to kill 4 bases, okay? Because that's about the only way you're coming back. Right now what Last is hoping is that Mini does some terrible attacks to try to finish him. Oftentimes that is like there's like certain levels of Terran desperation. One is a dropship and vultures everywhere. And another is like, please run into mines over and over and over.
Yeah.
I don't think that it can even happen, though. He's up 60 supply.
He's actually going to go for a bust here. Now, this is a little bit risky, and you don't have to do it. And it looks like actually Mini thinks twice about that. So, is he going to go for it anyways? Okay, he is. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. So he can unload all these Reavers and Zealots over here. He's going to try to micro out those Reavers.
This attack, even though it's like going as well as it could for Last, it's not well enough. He'll kill off all the Zealots, sure, but just the amount he's losing here. Like, even if he kills his whole army and doesn't lose his command center or the rest of his units, he doesn't have enough units left over.
Basically, you have a Protoss that's maxed out and is taking a huge amount of his supply and just hurling it at the Terran.
Yeah.
But you could even see, I mean, there's a reason why Terran pretty much always get 3 bases eventually on this map. It's just almost too hard for Protoss to break there. That's one of the things that kind of distinguishes StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 is it's a lot easier to turtle. It's hard to get like a maxed out army through.
Oh yeah, like up little ramps and stuff.
Like
it's truly hard to kill somebody.
Yes,
I think is what you're looking to say
hard
here.
To end the game.
Yeah, ending games in StarCraft 1 is quite difficult indeed. And the thing is, like, when you get ahead, get further ahead, okay, yeah, sure, but when you have more bases, it's harder to defend everything.
Yeah.
You know? And that's sometimes, like I was talking about, like, as a Terran, you can start to get desperate. Okay, get a dropship, put vultures everywhere. But in this type of situation, we have cannons going up, we have units everywhere, we have pylon blocks all over the place. Like, if he loses these vultures, that's half of his army. Tough stuff.
I actually wonder if that was the best move for Protoss to do. You know what I mean? I mean, it wasn't bad, but you got to be careful when you do that. Then again, Mini's so good at breaking these guys.
It is, like I mentioned, it's like one of the things Terran hopes that you do.
Yeah.
Is these bad attacks. But, like, it's just, He's got a lot of arbiters making right now, too. He's like the little battles we see here. Vulture's running around, like laying a couple mines. They're like, okay, you don't have the top right at least. But look at the army that Mini's making. Eventually, Mini will probably do a suicide recall. He'll just fly an arbiter in somewhere and do a gigantic recall. And suddenly there will be either a dead base or like a very cost-inefficient trade for last. And either of those happen, the game is pretty much over for him.
So, as this goes on, you gotta hunker down as Terran. You gotta do it. Now, don't let this mislead you when you see the Protoss having this much of the map. Had the early game not gone the way it had, Terran could still try to push out and really do something. But that early game is really playing a big factor here. Protoss want to keep expanding, keep stretching out on the map. And ultimately, Terran's goal, if not to end this with a super late game push, is to try to come out and maybe even secure the upper right. If you can keep Protoss off of that, you're in good shape. Up.
Ooh, I actually thought he would kill that Reaver right there. I guess not. I don't know what happened there. Reaver. Yeah, it's a deadly one right there, man. 18 kills. Wow. Just going to leave the Reaver there to recharge. Mini, he's like all the Raptors in Jurassic Park 1, you know? He's going up, he's testing the fence, testing the fence, testing the fence. Eventually he's going to find a door and he's going to figure out how to open it, and that's going to be that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, Terran wants to try to get some science vessels out. The goal is to EMP the Arbiters as they try to come in here to recall. I mean, obviously, it also helps that science vessels can see cloaked units, because sometimes Terran will miss scan, and the whole cloaked army just erases everything.
Yeah, you know, if you look at what Lass is doing, right, he's just sitting into max. He has +2 attack. I'm not sure what upgrade he's getting right now. I believe he's on 1 armory. Regardless, what he's looking to do is hit that max supply and have the most unbelievable trades over and over, because Mini's maxed out. He's not going to get a bigger army, but look at his bank go up. Right now, if he lost his whole army, he can make 50 Zealots.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many gates he has right now, but he's making a bunch to the bottom right, so he probably has 20 gates at least.
Yeah.
Right? So in like, you know, the course of a minute and a half, he remaxes. That's fast.
Okay, this Wraith, you know, it's just buying time. If Protoss gets a bunch of gateways up there, it's going to be really, really tough. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Can these Vultures actually beat it? Yes, they can. Oh, wow, another big drop over here. And I guess he's just going to go for it. He's going to try to come up here. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yeah, that's a good move right there.
The stasis at the ramp. There's not much that Terran can do about that. There is one trick where you make SCV's mine, and then you hit the stop button. Let's see if he does that here.
He's just going to run the command center. The drill is dangerous because stuff gets stuck on the ramp, and it won't always move them correctly.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is actually a better move overall. Just, like, wait for it to thaw, right? Winter doesn't last forever in StarCraft 1.
That's
well,
right.
It feels like it. That's the longest spell duration in the entire game. But
yeah, it's comically long.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Terran is on 2 bases. Now this third will inevitably be taken, but what Mini's doing is just slowing this down. Mini's gobbling up all the resources on the map. I think that the final move here for Mini, which I'm surprised he hasn't done actually yet, is to make a bunch of gateways in that upper right main.
Yeah, and he will do that eventually. By the way, Last isn't really mining now, so he's got nothing left. He just has that top base he's trying to take, which means he can't even max out, which was probably... Oh, no, and he's got that little bug. There's a bug on ramps that go down at this angle on jungle tile set.
Oh, wow.
And this was caused because of the stasis plus the SCVs moving through everything. And when this happens, you can actually get an unbelievable amount of units stuck in that, and they will not come out.
Can you kill it? Do you just want to destroy that to open it up, or what?
Well, the thing is, if you kill it, you're going to lose every unit. No units, even if only 1 unit's in that, won't come out.
No
so those
kidding.
units are gone unless he gets a drop ship and takes them out of there.
Wow. Well, I mean, Lass was pretty dead anyways, you know, but...
Yeah, no, he's already dead, so it's not like a big deal. And this is a known thing. This has been around forever. That stasis wasn't any good. But the thing is, Mini is like... Mini can roll his face across the keyboard and finish Last now.
Yeah. I think we may see Last tap out at this point in time. I mean, basically, Mini has all of the map. He's in amazing shape. Mini poked some holes into Last early on, and Mini was able to capitalize on it. Nicely done. GG.